With new teams and a new tour, cycling's combustible rivalry shifts into high gear. At the front of Team Radio Shack rides Lance Armstrong, a ferocious competitor in an aging body. A second year into his stunning comeback, can he outpace the inevitable to become the indomitable once more? In his sights is Alberto Contador, a can't-miss kid. He's won the last 4 Grand Tours he's entered. Now the undisputed leader of Astana, he climbs like a rocket. But does he have the team to launch him? In the shadows of these titans, a dark horse awaits. Last year, Andy Schlecks was the 2nd fastest man to Paris. The Luxembourger will try again for greatness in the mountains and a better grade in the test of truth. A prologue and 20 stages, sweeping from the Netherlands to the Mediterranean, across cobblestones and over the Alps and into the Pyrenees, through farmland and cities, together and alone. The riders of the peloton grind their pedals in an effort complete. At their front, men with stories of promise denied, potential unleashed, glories to reclaim, and scores to settle. They aim for Paris and compete for a conclusion supreme. This is the Tour de France.
Since the Middle Ages, the Dutch people have found creative ways of harnessing energy and turning it into work. For 197 of the best cyclists in the world, they'll need every ounce of energy to complete the work that lies ahead. Rotterdam's the biggest port city in Europe, and it's where the 2010 Tour de France started with the prologue.
We look out across Rotterdam here now. We're waiting for Lance Armstrong to enter the start house.
A quick display of a rider's fitness, this 5.5-mile prologue is a chance for Armstrong to prove he's even better than last year. He'll have to be if he's to unseat his bitter rival and defending champion, Alberto Contador. In the prologue, though, both men will probably finish behind Fabian Cancellara. He can't climb in the mountains, but he can crush a time trial. Armstrong's powered up to try and bring him down.
Lance Armstrong here, the rider who is pitching for his 8th Tour de France, and we know this will be his last.
3, 2, 1, stop!
Well, there it goes. That has got to be the biggest applause for any rider to go, as Lance Armstrong almost looked to the crowd there as he sprints off into the distance.
Lance is one of the oldest men in the race, but he's faster than last year's best young rider. As usual, Andy Schlecks is struggling with the time trial.
I think Andy Schlecks is going to lose himself a huge chunk of time here. I think he will probably go away from this individual time trial a little bit disappointed.
103rd.
Cycling is a bit like skiing. Different events require different abilities. In the time trial, the most powerful riders are usually the fastest. Cancellara is built like a linebacker, nicknamed Spartacus, and can smash his pedals like a steam engine.
This man has dominated prologues in the past. He's dominated time trials. I have to say, Phil, the kind of race route, the kind of profile really suits him out on course. But what about Armstrong? You know, he wants to go out of this Tour de France, his 13th participation, on a high if he can.
Time trials are critical for yellow jersey winners. In his Tour career, Lance won 11 of them. Victory has its privileges. First place in 2009, Contador gets to go last in the prologue. He'll have the advantage of knowing exactly the time he needs to beat.
The battle is underway. Armstrong out on course. A familiar fast cadence.
We've just got to check on Armstrong.
Yes.
He's gone through third place, Phil.
Unbelievable, but Armstrong is firing today. Alberto Contador, he showed us last year he has become a champion of the time trial as well, winning the final time trial of the Tour de France in the leader's yellow jersey. And Cancellara, walking away, could not believe that he had been beaten by Alberto Contador.
Fabian Cancellara has just got through with the best time.
Spartacus is banged on form. Can he hold it now? Head to head, the two rivals meeting together for the last time at the halfway distance on this opening prologue of the Tour de France. They are split by a single second.
Armstrong in front of him can see the Flamme Rouge indicating just 1,000 metres left to go to the finish.
He is proving, Paul, he's up for the fight now because he's giving us a great ride here.
He is certainly up for the fight because he knows exactly what he has to do. And it's all about the duel. It's all about the rivalry that he and Alberto Contador have. If he goes ahead of Contador in the prologue time trial, it's advantage Armstrong.
But now he swings home. Look at the face of Lance Armstrong. He's in this for a serious race. Hits the line, drops into third place. That is a huge effort, and he'll love it.
This is the man I think is going to stop the clock with the fastest time, and Fabian Cancellara has killed it.
Well, he's in his own world as a time trial rider. We always gave you that impression. This will be the best time.
Last man to ride on this course, the defending champion, the man who's won the Tour de France on 2 occasions, Alberto Contador, but it's now the big rivalry, him against Lance Armstrong, that could well be more important.
As Contador turns into the finish now, the time of Armstrong is 10:22. That time is going to slip by, so psychologically Armstrong's hit out first as he now takes time on Alberto Contador. This is now advantage Armstrong.
In fourth place, Lance Armstrong has taken a shocking 5-second lead on Alberto Contador. It's a slim margin in terms of a 3-week race, but nobody expected Lance to ride this well. For last year's runner-up Andy Schleck, he's got his work cut out for him, losing major time on a short course. The time trial is known as the test of truth. From the prologue, it's revealed the certain truth that Lance Armstrong is well prepared for the battle ahead.
It was a good ride. I felt good. The team looked good. But this is a long 3 weeks, man. This is, I mean, beginning tomorrow, into the Pave, into the Alps, Pyrenees. It's gonna be a lot of changes.
For the 4th time in his career, Fabian Cancellara has won the prologue and earned the honor of pulling on the yellow jersey as race leader. Though not first today, Armstrong once again is the story at the Tour de France. His quest for an 8th yellow jersey has gotten off on a brilliant note, and besting Contador is a pleasing chapter in their ugly feud. L'Arc de Triomphe anchors one end of the Champs-Élysées. The Louvre Museum stands at the other. Both are timeless monuments to the capabilities of mankind. Hello everyone, I'm Craig Hummer. Welcome to the 2010 edition of the Tour de France. Here on this legendary patch of pavement, the city of Paris awaits the heroes of our epic race. The unpredictable nature of this tour has provided more twists and turns than an alpine road, so it's helpful that it all comes to a close on a 1¼ mile straightaway. The riders' quest began 22 days ago in Rotterdam. Like all great traditions, the Tour de France provides a bridge to the past. Begun in 1903, the race was designed as a media event to draw readers to the newspaper that sponsored and reported on it. Today's riders attract even greater attention as the race officially begins with the ceremonial start, Le Grand Départ. France is about the size of Texas, but even that's not big enough for this international giant of a bike race. The 2010 Tour rolls out of Rotterdam in the cycling-mad country of the Netherlands. In the early days across Belgium and the north of France, course conditions play a key factor. In this corner of the world, rain is as plentiful as good beer, and the hilly terrain will keep riders from finding a rhythm, especially in Stage 3, where the Tour takes on 7 sections of merciless cobblestone. On these antiquated roadways, crashes are predictable. Winners and losers are not. The first week of racing concludes in the French Alps in Stage 8's mountaintop finish at Morzine-of-Oriaz. As always, the high peaks will help separate the true contenders for the yellow jersey from the rest of the field. Out of the Alps, the peloton speeds across southern France. Baking temperatures, strong winds, and a few bracing climbs keep the riders from getting anything close to comfortable in week 2. The third Sunday of the Tour gives no rest for the weary. Celebrating a century of racing in the Pyrenees, the Tour serves up a savage 2-summit, 114-mile day. And that's just the beginning of 4 quad-burning mountain stages capped by an inhuman climb up the Col de Tourmalet. Finally released from the cardio crush of racing at altitude, the riders get a quick taste of the Bordeaux wine region before tucking into Stage 19's decisive time trial. A train ride brings the riders to the outskirts of Paris for the last stage. Then, on the Champs-Élysées, the 2,263-mile quest for gold ends in a sprint. The rider with the fastest combined time for all 20 stages in the prologue rises to the top of the podium as champion. Stage 1 rolls for 138 miles from Rotterdam to the Belgian capital of Brussels. Flat as a crepe, stages like this usually have little impact on who wins in Paris. Instead, they feature the mercurial talent of the sprinters. Like a good suspense novel, the intensity ratchets up the closer the riders get to the end. Caught in the nervous excitement of setting up for the final charge, mistakes are common and sometimes insurmountable. Coming into Brussels, speeds reach 45 miles an hour. In the final rush, overall contenders simply try to stay upright. There's no time to be gained here, only the glory of a stage win.
They're coming to the right-hand bend that you were talking about.
And they'll switch right back on themselves here. Somebody's gone very wide. There's a crash there. Picked in the middle. It was a very, very short turn. 1 kilometre to go now as they get control of the front.
Well, you can see there, this in fact, Mark Cavendish is out of the hunt here, Phil, this afternoon. He went down in that crash.
With Cavendish out now, this is a wide open sprint here. Tyler Fraw will go in favourite. There's been another massive pile up behind. The riders have tumbled into a huge heap. The road is blocked there. I've never seen a crash like that before. They're buried. But get back to the front. This is where the action is right now. Farrar, I'm not sure has got it, has gone. Pataki and another crash in the middle, and they have gone down as Pataki has come clear now. Alessandro Pataki is going to win the stage of the Tour de France, and he's done it amidst the massive crashes. Is he going to hang on? Yes, he is. That, Paul, is absolutely incredible.
Well, it's total chaos out there on the roads this afternoon. They were dropping like 9 pins.
In 7 consecutive Tour wins, Lance Armstrong remarkably never had a serious crash. Here in Brussels, he's once again ridden through the mayhem unharmed.